Ideally, I would love to get back to 13. 13 size was probably what, 2 in the 40s, 240s.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I looked really good in 13.
I think so.
But you know what? I would like to, if I felt confident enough, like if my body actually came around enough, I would actually consider maybe
What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we have a very interesting video for you guys today. Now, everyone saw those physique updates from Jay Cutler, where he looked pretty damn good for 49 years of age, a guy who's retired that has maintained a physique, that's for sure, because most of these guys do retire. We don't see their physique whatsoever, and you got to imagine underneath it doesn't look near as good as Jay Cutler looks right now. Now, obviously, he's not, he wasn't a super athletic guy on stage, later in his career, but he still had, obviously, when he had a ton of mass on, he had a good structure and it all flowed pretty well, and obviously well enough to win 4 Mr Olympia titles and become one of the greatest of all time. Now, I'm pretty impressed by this. Like, we'll actually watch a little bit more. I'll play this for you guys right now so you can see how he's currently looking in his latest physique update. But he had some interesting words as well on his latest jaywalking video, which is done on Jay Cutler TV. The full link to that is in the description below. And that's also run by Dave Belay as well, who's a great dude and always very friendly, and along with Jay Cutler as well. So shout out to those guys and what they're doing over there. But it's really cool to see Jay actually doing this. I think it's awesome that he's actually, posing down and giving this guy, his name's Lex Little, Lex Little on YouTube. He's got over 250K subscribers. So he's obviously killing it and seems like a really young dude. That's him on the right. And I think that's obviously one of his friends on the left. So these guys are absolutely killing it. It's cool to see Jay actually posing down next to some of the young talent. But let's get into what Jay Cutler actually had to say on his most recent video on Jay Cutler TV. Like I said, full link is in the description below, but let's check that out.
in here. Drop the picture in here of me posing with Lex Little, who's a pretty popular influencer.
Oh, Lex Little from Golds, the most muscular?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
So we did a video together, and he conned me into going to the posing room. You know me, I don't pose.
I know.
And you can see it obviously here on the screen right now. And it's actually funny because Jay Cutler really isn't a guy that has posed really much in years. You see him sometimes pull out a little bit of quad or something from under his shorts or something like that, or hit a little bicep shot or something like in a singlet. But we haven't seen him pose down shirt off like this, apart from maybe walking around shirt off in one of his videos. But you got to say, he does look pretty damn good. And we'll get to more of that later and sort of analyze.
I was shocked.
I don't want to say con, but he asked me, and I said, you know what, I'll go in there. And I didn't realize it would go so viral. And now, of course, the pictures are floating everywhere.
That was a good picture.
And you know what I'm trying to do for 50. We talked about this, but we'll talk. So I'm doing
So Jay Cutler is basically doing a transformation and wants to get, he has actually said in the past, get in the best shape of his life at 50 years of age. Now, I don't know if he meant best conditioning or whatever, but he sort of said, people are sort of saying that based off sort of what he said. And I think he, in Jay Cutler's mindset, he's a champion. So he wants to go, okay, let's get in the best shape of my life. Because otherwise, if he says, I'm going to get in worse shape that I was in the past, then it's not as motivating for him. So I think it's cool the way he's actually sort of put that at least anyway. But let's listen on what he has to say, because it might actually surprise you guys as well.
It's mistakenly said, Jay's going to get in his best shape ever. I'm actually going to get in, just great shape that I've been in for the past 9 years when I retired 13. So almost 10 years. I'll be in the best shape since then. Ideally, I would love to get back to 13. 13 size was probably what, 2 in the 40s, 240s.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I looked really good in 13.
I think so.
So this is Jay Cutler in 2013. So he said he'd love to get back to 2013 size. So that's big. Like, Jay Cutler was obviously not back to his biggest that he's ever been. but it's still a very big physique. It's still extremely muscular. I don't know if he'll actually even attempt to try to get back to that size, but imagine if he actually did get back to this size and sort of put it back together. Now, he's not going to have a physique that flows the same way, but it would be damn impressive to see him to try to, I suppose, attempt that, because it's surprising, I suppose I'd say, from Jay Cutler at this stage. I don't know if these latest photos that came out, he goes, oh, look, I just want to put a bit more muscle on and just sort of see how it looks. But I can't imagine Jay will actually get back to this sort of size, because this is still massive. And Jay said when he looks at himself in the past that he sort of looks back and goes that he's amazed. So like, he's amazed by the guys today, but he's amazed at sort of what he used to look like. So I think I can't imagine Jay getting back to this size, but let me know in the comments, do you think he'll get back to this size? And we do have a poll up at the moment as well, asking, should Jay come back and do a guest posing or a competition if he so chooses? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think he should do it? But let's listen on to Jay Cutler, and we'll skip through a little bit of his 2013 posing routine, which the link to this is in the description below as well, if you do want to check that out. Should have actually paid attention to when this ends.
Months.
Yeah.
10 months.
No.
But I don't think I'll be able to get back to that size.
No.
Not between now and we're already 10 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It goes quickly.
I have to
So 10 months until Jay is 50 years of age, and that's his goal date, his 50th birthday.
Really ramp up and eat, consistently 6 meals a day. And, with my schedule with the holidays and everything else. I had planned to start around the 1st, which means, when we go to LA for the LA Fit Expo and all that,
yeah,
second week of January, I'll already be in the midst of it. But the training is
So it seems like Jay starting January 1st, his full transformation. It'll be awesome to see how far his physique can actually come in that time period. I don't know if it means he's, he has said that he uses a TRT dosage. I don't know if that means he's upping that and he's going to go a little bit higher, or what it actually means for Jay Cutler. But I think it's going to be cool and it's going to be exciting. And he said 2 weeks into January, he's going to be fully into it when he goes to that Fit Expo in LA. So it seems like he's probably going to put on a little bit of muscle, I reckon, straight away, and maybe adding in a few of those other things. And you can actually do it a lot of the time in America through these hormone replacement clinics. Some of them are actually pretty happy to prescribe certain compounds outside of testosterone as well for hormone replacement.
Training is on point. I really don't miss a lot of training. Yeah, so I'm doing this body transformation challenge, just to try to look my best. And that means leaner, and I don't know what my physique's gonna look like, to be honest, because right now, I'm really lean. It's just that I could tighten up a few areas, and I want to get a little fuller. I don't know if that necessarily means bigger or bigger on a scale, but that's kind of the goal. So hopefully you guys.
I think it would have to mean for Jay Cutler to get bigger on the scale. And I think he's fighting in his own head here. I feel like I can almost see it before my eyes. He wants to come in fuller and bigger, and not come in, but just look bigger and fuller in certain body parts. And he has mentioned as well, the shoulders sort of start to fade, and his shoulders have faded at least somewhat for sure. But I think he can fill out some other body parts a little bit more. But I think that, he doesn't actually want to put on too much weight just for health reasons as well. So he wants to look big and wants to be back to his biggest, but for health reasons, he doesn't want to be. So he's in that sort of fighting battle mentally. But I think him staying light, and then at least what he's saying sounds like a pretty good plan. But getting back to 2013 size, that's a damn big bodybuilder. And he'd be looking jacked again. I feel like he'd have to get really big and somewhat unhealthy at his age to actually do that.
Can share this, what's going on. I'm not going on a competition stage, but you know what? I would like to, if I felt confident enough, if my body actually came around enough, I would actually consider maybe, posing.
Guest posing.
Just taking on, I don't know if I would actually guest pose, I'm a featured guest poser, but, I host 4 events myself, and I'm still getting a ton of requests to come out to pop into events. So
you hear that from Jay. He wouldn't mind doing some posing. So he says he hosts 4 events himself, and he gets called out to do a lot of other events. So potentially at one of Jay Cutler's contests, maybe if he does decide to do this, maybe at one of the other events he goes to, maybe he'll be actually guest posing. It might be an impromptu sort of thing where he just pulls his clothes off and does a posing and surprises the crowd. That'd be really, really cool to see. And it would create some great content for YouTubers like myself as well. So let me know in the comments, would you love to see Jay Cutler do a guest posing or some sort of competition or something like that?
It could be a possibility. That's something where I, show the physique or something.
He's gonna get basically like crazy again if you start doing that.
No one wants to see a 50-year-old man,
Well, it depends who it is.
So I don't know if I actually included it in there, but Jay Cutler basically said as well, he said in terms of competitions, no. So he's actually not planning on competing again, but if he is planning to get back to 2013 size, he might say, hey, Masters Olympia, I might come back to that. You never know, but I don't think he will. I feel like it's a smart plan for Jay to come back, do a bit of a guest posing sort of situation, because when you look at him there, like, you can pick apart his physique, but if you see him in person, he gets a little bit leaner on that physique, plus a bit more muscle as well, maybe an extra 15 pounds, which to Jay Cutler, he's got a huge physique. So adding 15 pounds isn't super crazy. 15 pounds of muscle, maybe 5 pounds less of fat, a little bit of water manipulation, nothing crazy, obviously. And I think he can look pretty damn impressive, especially to a crowd in person as well. He's going to look better than a lot of the amateur bodybuilders there. And he's, or if not all the amateur bodybuilders there. And he's going to look sensational. So let me know what you think about this. I think Jay Cutler looks fantastic. Should he make a comeback? Should he do a guest posing? And we'll be following his transformation. Check out, if you want to see this video, if you want to see the Jay walking, if you want to see that posing routine from Jay Cutler's 2013 Mr Olympia, which was his final contest, you can check out all those links in the description below. And guys, if you are watching these videos, you can do super chats. 100% your comments will be featured and all that sort of stuff. But let's go to a couple of your comments right now. Daniel Wim, thank you, man. What's up? Here we go. This is from Armand Redman. Says, I voted yes, but for the Masters Olympia that will be 50 years old to compete, so he can do it. He is one of the greatest ever, but he had the misfortune of competing in Ronnie's era. But Jay is great, not wrong. Jay 100% is great for sure, and he did have a misfortune of competing against Ronnie Coleman, the greatest bodybuilder of all time. So he built one of the greatest rivalries, which is amazing. It's very, very cool. But 50 plus will be very, very hard. I'll tell you why. Because Kamalo Gagni, who's a guy that was contending for pro show wins, was actually, he's 53 this year or something. So I think it's safe to say that, to be honest, Jay wouldn't win it. Just because I think Kamal has come so far and his physique is still so fresh. And Improv Jew, 4 coats of tan and 2 of glaze from RJ, 100%. Goof Juice says, I think if he wants to, then he should. Absolutely. This is from RJ. It's funny how TRT seems to stack up for these guys sometimes. For sure, yeah. TRT can be considered. I mean, I know guys that have had DECA prescribed for TRT for shoulder issues, and then they get their testosterone, and then they get some growth hormone, and then we've got 3 compounds in at that stage, and that's TRT. So, or at least that's replacement, or if that's whatever, it's prescription at least anyway. So, anyway, thank you guys so much. And Ryrie 1285 says, good job for Jay for way downsizing and yet staying healthy. Yeah, it seems like obviously staying that low body fat and not eating as much food and all that sort of stuff has definitely helped Jay Cutler. His inflammation probably is down, and living and feeling a lot healthier at his weight right now rather than when he's in the midst of his career. I mean, Jay is really, I saw someone say today on his story, one day I want to grow up and be like Jay Cutler. So I've definitely said those sorts of things. Jay definitely has a lifestyle at 50 years of age that is one to look up to. And a good point here from RJ, Albert Beckles was in his 60s. Yes, he was. Absolute freak, though. Cutler versus Priest versus DJ. How cool would that be to see? I'd love to see some sort of competition between these guys, but I don't know if I want to see them all getting jacked and huge again. I mean, Lee Priest is actually jacked and huge right now, so can't say anything about that. Lee Priest would be very, very hard to beat. And I think we've been having some back and forths and some fun in the Centipani circles as well, Jay Cutler and Lee Priest. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that like button, comment. Let me know your thoughts on Jay Cutler's current physique and should he make a comeback to guest pose or to compete. And all the love is much appreciated, guys. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell button, because we're going to have a ton of content over the Mr. Olympia lead up and also the weekend as well. It's going to be absolutely huge here on Desktop Bodybuilding. The goal for December is to get out, let's say 75 videos for December. Like, it's going to be a huge one, maybe even 100 if we go crazy. I'm going to have a lot of extra time to work then as well. So there's going to be a ton of interviews leading up to that Mr. Olympia. I've got a bunch of guys I'm lining up right now. I've got some interesting guests coming to the podcast as well. And check out our latest podcast of Bodybuilding University with myself and Nathan Diasha. The latest one has Johnny Shreve on there as well. It has Martin Fitzwater, and it has Brett Wilkin, who is under 4 weeks out now of that Romania Pro, where we share his progress and what's been going on with him. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for all the love. That's it from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. So Xavier Wills, this is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are...